collapsed, he walked away with $1.3 billion. And I got a chance to go on the radio last weekend on Cairo News on the Dave Ross show. And Dave Ross, I think, said something brilliant that I want to relay to you. He suggested that there was an easy solution to our problems then, if this is the way CEOs of banks are being treated. We should convert our schools to banking status. I thought that was brilliant. I mean, can you imagine, like, I go up to my principal and I'm like, well, I'm retiring this year. And then my principal says, well, I'll sweeten the deal. If all your kids fail this year, I'll give you a severance package of $1 billion. I mean, it's absurd, right? But it's happening before our eyes. And in moments like these, I think a quote from Langston Hughes is appropriate. We're in the Langston Hughes Hall tonight, and Langston Hughes said this: "Humor is laughing at what you haven't got when you ought to have it." And I think with the economy collapsing so far, all we have seen right now is a New Deal, but for the rich, right? A $700 billion bailout with bipartisan consensus, right? You have Democrats and Republicans linking arms together in a show of solidarity. Barack Obama, John McCain coming together to give $700 billion in a reverse bank robbery. And it was just absolutely, it shocked and outraged, I think, most people in this country. And what didn't get as much notice that same week that $700 billion went to the banks is $600 billion. Over $600 billion was passed for the Pentagon budget, not including the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, right? And of course, we've heard already tonight that, unfortunately, while Barack Obama wants to continue the war on terror with, just refocusing it on Afghanistan, which means that there will continue to be hundreds of millions and billions of dollars spent to bomb instead of spent on our schools, right? And the logic of their system is that when we're coming into an economic collapse, that what you do is you build prisons, because you know people are going to have to go out and steal to get by in these times. That's the logic. That's how they would set things up for us. Our logic has to be, why don't we spend that money in my classroom in the first place so that these kids have the tools to go on and be successful and be right? But that's a fundamentally different vision, and that's the one that I think all of us up here tonight are trying to figure out how to fight for. And I think that it isn't to say, it's a daunting task. We've heard the tough struggles tonight that people have been in workplaces and unions and communities over, and it's not easy. And Frederick Douglass said it best: power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has, and it never will. And that's what we're up here trying to figure out, right? How to get by these corrupt politicians.